Hi everyone. I'm Toby Turtle, the official mascot of STO Summit Spring 2025. We're excited to share the recorded sessions from the world's leading summit on security tokens and real-world assets. Now, let's dive into today's talk from one of our global leaders. Hey Augustine, over to you.
Next is Konstantin Zagaynov, co-founder of Rwa.world, with highlights and opportunities in Q2 2025.
Super excited to be here, and thanks everyone for very insightful and presentations so far. It's been a ton of really great content. So my presentation is going to be about the overview of the market. So also we're happy to celebrate some of the milestones that I'm going to mention about. So starting slideshow. Augustine, can you see my presentation?
Yes, very clear. Nice.
Awesome. Excellent. So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Konstantin Zagaynov. I'm from TRWA.world. And I'm going to talk about the current market overview and trends in tokenized real world assets. So first of all, what is TRWA.world? Is market intelligence and analytics company. We've been working on tokenized real world assets since September 2023. Absolutely appreciate the work of guys like security token markets, like Harvik and his team doing at RWA So like tons of great data that we regularly consume there. But also we wanted to provide our own angle and contribution to the market. So when we launched, basically what we do right now is our main products, like we curate probably the biggest database of tokenized projects on the market. I also learned some new names from today, so happy to absolutely add you guys to our database. At the moment, it's about 500 companies that we categorize in various verticals. We curate also the newsletter each Friday, so it's read by over 300 various companies. So make sure to go to rwa.world and sign up. Over there, we curate weekly Thursday Twitter spaces on RWA assets under the Wolf crypto account. We regularly issue different industry reports focusing on specific verticals, whether it's say collectibles or commodities. We've done reports, for example, with Superstate. We also about to actually working on the specific data publishing product, so which would allow protocols, different dApps on various chains to operate with the real-time pricing data for various real-world assets. So I'm going to talk about it a bit later. So again, this database is available as Airtable that you can also, and also on the website, and I'm happy to share the link for everyone to consume. So for various different kind of research activities or competitor comparison, I think it would be super handy. Just a few names that we've been working with together. So you can see it here as well. ERC 3646 for 3 organization. We work with Chainlink, Lume, Uranium, Superstate, XDC Network, to name a few, on various consultancy gigs or reports. About myself, so apart from being co-founder at TRWA.world, I'm also working with faculty group and Relay, which is yield aggregation on-chain protocol on Base, Sonic, and Ethereum. So my background's been in also in financial services, and also I've been basically full-time in crypto since 2019, taking various positions in product and engineering. I think there's been already spoken a lot about the various, obviously, various benefits that tokenization brings, and super like a lot of insights shared today. Just want to say, like again, from our point of view, the main kind of benefits tokenization brings to the traditional assets is accessibility and distribution and reporting. It's been spoken a lot about accessibility, that again, you can access as users from anywhere in the world. Basically, various assets, you can access them in the various shapes, like you don't have to own the full asset, but you can get, again, fractional side of real estate, for example. For the asset issuers really helps tokenization with distribution through various exchanges and marketplaces, obviously again globally. And last but not least, definitely helps with reporting. Like it's just blockchain makes things about reporting about the movement of assets and also like different volumes is much better. My favorite actually part is also like that I think tokenization unlocks a lot of different use cases. Like again, you can use assets as collateral for lending. There are like perpetual trading market on various also tokenized TRWAs. They're like and so on and so forth. Yeah, and looking at the market, actually, when we started in 2023, I think the size of the overall like assets on chain was just a little bit more than 1 billion. Now, if I look at the data from RWA XYZ, it's 22 billion. And actually, I was making also a speech just 1 month ago, and it was 18 billion. So we literally grew like 30% month to month, so which is really fantastic. And it's actually not that easy to calculate the size of the market. I heard Herwig said today that they actually can track like up to 250 billion worth of assets on chain. Currently, they show 64 billion. DeFi Llama shows the number of 11 billion. So there are different numbers and again different ways to look at the actual whole size of the industry. And I just checked today, and we crossed the milestone of 100,000 of total asset holders according to RWA XYZ. So really remarkable milestone. Now this is actually data from from I think our own database. So like how exactly the different assets are categorized. So obviously majority of the volume come from treasuries and bonds, like excluding stable coins, and really big chunk also comes in real estate and private credit. I think collectibles and commodities are very interesting, but a little bit smaller segments at the moment. This is also this our data. So again, from our database, if we look at them, breakdown by jurisdictions, we still see the majority of projects originating in the US. And we interestingly like in Germany, Singapore, Switzerland, probably again due to the like good jurisdiction and good regulatory environments are also basically going next. And there are plenty of interesting projects from more like exotic countries that we see spanning in this industry. Yeah, and actually as well, like if we talk about different blockchains, obviously Ethereum is leading. But interestingly, like Polygon has been really popular as well for actually real world asset issuance. I think there are more like smaller projects, longer tail, but eventually in terms of the volume and also especially quantity, it takes the second place. We heard that they already spoke from the Franklin Templeton that's been on Stellar. That's why also Stellar actually takes the big share in terms of the total volume of tokenized real world assets. And really well emerging Solana and Base. During last year, there were more and more projects building on launching on this chain specifically. Of course, there are projects that launched on like several chains, and we track all that. Now, I think one of the biggest takes, like what we like when looking in this industry, is that it's very fragmented, and we eventually what we do is we categorize all the projects into 12 verticals. So not only they say again equity stocks or debt instrument or private equity, real estate, but also we also work on understanding and doing different reports and analysis. What happens in such markets as, for example, tokenized physical infrastructure or tokenized insurance or tokenized commodities, so smaller verticals. But also we really enjoyed to dive deeper there and find different know-hows and use cases. Now, I'll just summarize a little bit about like a few categories that we find very interesting. So first of all, when we talk about, again, real world assets, everybody needs to understand, of course, that stablecoins is the biggest vertical and asset class over there. And yes, it's been mentioned a few times here, it's already like over 230 billion in TVL. Again, we see the growth of about 14% in terms of holders. And literally, we hear the news on nearly like weekly. There is a new stablecoin being released, like it's been really during last 2 months, and Ripple and other players like that there has been launching their own stablecoins. And what is really remarkable, of course, is that they are backed by different kind of real world assets, whether it's say T-bills or money market funds or structured credit. So again, this data is really nicely present in RWA. You can see all these breakdowns there. From my point of view, again, it's really interesting to see that we also reached during last 4 months a record in terms of the transactional volume in stable coins. And I'm finding really interesting this specific chart. If you I just saw this today, again, if you look at the Ethereum price, once it hit in 2018, basically it was the same price as today, but the total market cap of stakeable coins is 1 million times higher than it was back then. So really remarkable comparison. And unfortunately, Ethereum was not doing so well as a whole stable market on Ethereum. Yeah, another interesting category is that again, RWA industry has also brought several L1s that are specifically positioned themselves as RWA chains. There is a certain embedded KYC element, so they are very sometimes are EVM chains, but catered specifically to the tokenization projects. Of course, to mention a few, as Plume, it's of course Mantra. It's been working with such as players like Real Estate Damak. And there are a few, for example, Maverick and Red Belly, Cosmos-based. One of them is. So yeah, I think we track about 30 different L1s and L2s that are focused on specifically real-world assets. Yeah, a few players to mention, of course, in the treasuries and bonds. So we heard today already from guys from Superstate and Franklin Templeton. But also very interesting to basically remark certain European players. That's where I'm based. For example, Midas allows to buy without KYC specific tokenized bonds but in specific geographies. So very interesting project. And of course, Back that has been also issuing different securities, not only the treasuries bonds. We find again the private credit is as I already mentioned, the second biggest category, third biggest category in the tokenized real world assets. Specifically here, we also see really diverse offering of different chains. For example, Tradable is working on zk Sync. Obviously, Centrifuge has been the pioneer of the private credit on-chain. We also see such emerging projects as Casu, which is basically working with Australian accounting firms, has been launched on Base, and or for example, Mansa, to mention a few, that provides credit facility for B2C loans in Africa. So very different, interesting use cases that we see in the private credit category. Yeah, and tokenized real estate, there are different applications as well. There have been some presentations today about this. We can see different applications of tokenized real estate, from fractional tokenization that is basically tokenizing specific real estate assets in fractional way, like Realty or Lofty, to just title registry, like for example that Propi does on blockchain. Also, very interesting to mention, when we talk with different projects, we find new ones. These are very interesting use cases. Probably heard about tokenized uranium done by project of Uranium 308, or there is tokenized armor presented by Amocrypt, or you can also buy part of tokenized limestone queries in Zambia with KulaDAO. So it's really remarkable the variety of use cases that are currently presented by tokenization. Right, and actually my last slide will be about our product that is mentioned earlier. So we are launching rwadataFeeds.com, which will provide real-time price and other data for various assets, from public equities to commodities, also NAV data, and specific, even not real world asset, but real world data, like for example, political or celebrity news indexes, to watch and spirits on chain. We partner with over 20 oracles, and we also partner with data publishers off chain to basically help allow this data on chain. So yeah, we'll be basically, again, whoever is any of the projects that work in this area and demand specifically real-time data on tokenized assets, please talk to me. I'll be very happy to discuss with you various use cases. So that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Augustin.
Thanks for joining us at STO Summit Spring 2025. Stay curious, stay connected, and remember, the future is tokenized.